So now we will talk about another type of angle called vertically opposite angles. Let's see what are they. The name sounds interesting, isn't it? So these are opposite angles. So these are not adjacent angles. They are not located side by side. They are located opposite to each other. So opposite angles formed by two intersecting lines. Well, what are intersecting lines? So two lines which cross each other. So which moves over each other. So like what you see here. Like maybe you can think of a pair of sword or a scissor. So there you get to see that two pieces moving over each other, or they are crossing each other. These are called intersecting lines. Right? Now whenever two lines intersect, now opposite angles are formed. Which are the opposite angles? Now if you look at this angle, let's call this angle 1. So which angle is opposite to this? Now this angle would be adjacent because they are located side by side. Similarly, this angle and this angle would also be adjacent. But when you look at this angle, what is it? They are located opposite to each other, right? Exactly on the other side of each other. So angle 1 and angle 2 are vertically opposite angles. So angle 1 and angle 2 are examples of vertically opposite angles. Similarly, if you call this angle 3 and this angle 4, then you can say that angle 3 and angle 4, they are also vertically opposite angles because they are also located exactly opposite to each other. So these are vertically opposite angles. Now, did you wonder that why do we call them vertically opposite angles? Why the word vertical? How is it linked to vertical or horizontal? Well, it has not been derived from the word vertical. Instead, it has been derived from the word vertex. So why they have been named after vertex? Because these angles, they share the same vertex. So here if you see, this is the only vertex involved. So all these angles, angle 1 and angle 2, they share the same vertex and they are located opposite to each other. So they are called vertically opposite angles. Similarly, angle 3 and angle 4 share the same vertex and they are located opposite to each other. So they are also called vertically opposite angles. So that is why they have been named so. Now, one interesting fact is that these vertically opposite angles are always equal in their values. That means if angle 1 is equal to, let's say that if angle 1 is equal to 30 degrees, what would be angle 2? Now, angle 1 and angle 2 are vertically opposite, therefore angle 1 will always be equal to angle 2. So, angle 2 will also be equal to 30 degrees. Now, this is very interesting. That doesn't matter what the condition is, but every time vertically opposite angles will be equal to each other. So let us look at this example. So here the image is a little different. So what do you see? You see two lines, they are crossing over each other at a point. So they are also intersecting lines. So they will also form vertically opposite angles, which is if this is angle 1, which would be the vertically opposite angle? This angle definitely, so this is angle 2. This angle would be angle 3 and this angle would be angle 4. So here also we can say angle 1 is equal to angle 2 because they are vertically opposite angles. Similarly, angle 3 is equal to angle 4. Now the question is, why are vertically opposite angles equal? So why is it that every time they are equal? So let us try to prove why vertically opposite angles are always equal. So what is our aim? We have to prove that this angle, let's call this angle 1 and let's call this angle 2. So we have to prove that angle 1 is equal to angle 2. So let us start the proof. So let us also name this angle as angle 3 because we will be using it. Now looking at this diagram, we can see that angle 1 plus angle 3 is equal to 180 degrees because angle 1 and angle 3, they make a linear pair. They have non-common sides as opposite rays and they are adjacent angles with a common vertex, a common arm and no common points. So angle 1 and angle 3, their sum would be 180 degree. Similarly, angle 2 plus angle 3, will also be equal to 180 degree. So when you look at angle 2 and angle 3, they also form linear pair. So their sum will also be equal to 180 degree. So these are the two relations that we have. Let us name these as equation 1 and equation 2. So now from equation 1 and 2, what we can write? We can say that, see, angle 1 plus angle 3 is also 180 degree. Angle 2 plus angle 3 is also equal to 180 degree. So we can say that angle 1 plus angle 3 is equal to angle 2 plus angle 3, right? We can say that because both values are equal to 180 degree. So from here we can say that angle 1 is equal to angle 2 plus angle 3 minus angle 3. Now this is how we solve linear equations, right? Just in the last lesson we learned that. So if you move it from right hand side to left hand side, plus becomes minus. So plus 3 minus 3 will cancel out to give 0. Therefore what do you get? Angle 1 is equal to angle 2. So hence proved. So this is how we have proved that vertically opposite angles are always equal. So in a similar way, you can also prove that angle 3 is equal to angle 4. Maybe you can do that as an exercise for yourself. So now that we have learned about so many different types of angles, we talked about adjacent angles, linear pair, vertically opposite angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles. Now let us see, do we actually see these kind of angles in things around us? Well, we do. Think of a scissor. So what do you see? You actually see that there are two lines intersecting each other, and you can actually experience the existence of vertically opposite angles. And at the same time, you can also experience the existence of linear pair. So this way, these two angles would be linear pair, right? Similarly, when you think of these two flags, you would have often seen these kind of showpieces being placed inside your cars or even at offices or homes. So there also you get to see the vertically opposite angles. When you talk about a flag, so during the flag hoisting, you would see that the flag stands straight. So that way it is making an angle of 90 degree with the ground. So that is where you can actually experience the existence of the right angle. Right? Let's think of this vegetable chopping board. Now when you look at this chopping board, you actually have a board and you have a knife fixed over it. Now the knife is fixed in such a way that one end is fixed. So this end is fixed and the other end is like movable. So you can move it, and like that you actually cut vegetables, right? So that's the chopping board. Now when you look at this chopping board, you can experience linear pair in a very nice way. You would see that, so when you look at it from sideways, this is your board and this is your knife. So let's say if you pull the knife up till here, so you would see this is an acute angle and this is an obtuse angle, and they form a linear pair. Let's say that if you have pulled the knife till here, so what happens? This is 90 degree, this is also 90 degree, again linear pair. Now this might also happen that you have pulled the knife slightly more than 90 degrees. So this becomes acute and this becomes obtuse, but still the sum is 180 degrees. So here you can actually see an example of the supplementary angles also. You also see an example of linear pair. So you see, in things around us, we can actually visualize all these types of angles. You think of a pen stand. So even in case of a pen stand, this is how the pen stands, and you have a base like this. So basically when you look at this angle and this angle, they also together form a linear pair, or they also give you an example of supplementary angles. So that means these are all examples which tell us that these angles, they also exist in real life. So based on these various angles that we have discussed so far, let us quickly look at some of the questions. Question number 1. Find the complement of 57 degrees. So how would you find complement? Now two angles are said to be complementary if their sum is 90 degrees. So complement of any angle would be that angle which when added to this angle, that means the angle which when added to 57 degrees should give 90 degree. So you will have to find out this particular angle. So this angle would be called as the complement of 57 degree. Right? So how would you find out this angle? So if you assume this angle as x, so x will actually be equal to 90 degree minus 57 degree, because you transpose 57 to right hand side. Therefore, you can say that complement of 57 degrees will be equal to 90 degree minus 57 degree, which is equal to 33 degrees. So that means if you add 33 degrees to 57 degrees, so this is just a rough diagram. So if you add 33 degrees, so you actually get a 90 degree. So that's the meaning. Find the supplement of 105 degrees. So in a similar way, what would be the supplement of 105 degree? So supplement would be that angle which when added to 105 degree should give 180 degrees. So that is the supplement. So therefore the supplement angle would be equal to 180 degrees minus 105 degrees. So this would be equal to 75 degrees. So that means if you add 75 degrees, that is this angle should be 75 degrees, and then the two together form a straight angle, that is they together form 180 degrees. Question number 3. Find the angle which is equal to its supplement. So we do not know the angle, so let us assume that the angle is x. Now, as per the question, that the angle and its supplement they are the same. So that means the supplement of this angle would also be x. Now, as per the concept of supplementary angles, we know that the sum of an angle and its supplement is equal to 180 degrees. Right? So now let us solve this to find the value of x. So x plus x would be 2x is equal to 180 degree, or you can say x is equal to 180 degrees divided by 2. So 2 9s are 18, so you get x is equal to 90 degree. So basically if you have a right angle like this 90 degrees, in that case the other angle would also be 90 degrees. So the angle and its supplement are equal. Question number 4. In the given figure, angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary angles. If angle 1 is decreased, what changes should take place in angle 2 so that both the angles still remain supplementary? Now, to remain supplementary, the only condition is that, so to remain supplementary, sum of angle 1 and angle 2 must be 180 degrees. So that is the only criteria for two angles to be supplementary. So we have to ensure that angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 180 degrees. Now let us assume that if angle 1 decreases. So let us draw the diagram in that case. What would happen? So let us say angle 1 has decreased. So initially angle 1 was an obtuse angle. Let's say that it has decreased considerably and it has now become an acute angle, that is an angle less than 90 degrees. So it has reduced this much. So in this case, what is happening to angle 2? So the angle 2, if we want the sum to remain as 180 degrees, that means angle 1 and angle 2 should together form this straight line, right? So in that case, this angle has to be angle 2. So what has happened to angle 2? So if angle 1 decreases, then angle 2 has to increase if we want to maintain the sum to be 180 degrees. Right? So in that case, angle 2 will have to increase. Now, if we assume that angle 1 increases too much, so even if angle 1 increases too much more than what it was before, so in that case also we see, let's say that it has become something like this, where this angle is 1. So if angle 1 has increased so much, then angle 2 definitely has to decrease so that the sum remains 180 degrees. So that's a very simple concept. Their sum always has to be 180 degrees, and 180 degrees means a straight line. So in order to maintain a straight line, if you are increasing one angle, the other angle has to decrease. Similarly, if you are decreasing one angle, the other angle has to increase. Question number 5. An angle is greater than 45 degree. Is its complementary angle greater than 45 degree or equal to 45 degree or less than 45 degrees? So let us have a look at this diagram. So here we have shown 45 degrees because two 45 degrees together make a 90 degree. So this is how 45 degrees would be. Now, what do we know about complementary angles? So for complementary angles, the sum of the angles should be equal to 90 degrees. So that is the criteria for two angles to be complementary. Now in this question, it is given that one angle is greater than 45 degrees. So that means one angle could be somewhat like this, right? So this could be one angle. Let us call this angle as angle 1. So it is given in the question that angle 1 is greater than 45 degree. Perfect. Now what we have to tell is whether angle 2 would be greater than 45, equal to 45 or less than 45. So if this is angle 1, which one would be angle 2? Obviously the remaining part, because 1 plus 2 has to be equal to 90 degree, right? So this part has to be angle 2. So by looking at this part, what can you say? Whether it is less than 45 or more than 45? Because total 45 is this much. So we are considering only this much. So definitely, therefore, angle 2 is less than 45 degrees. Right? It is very evident from this figure. So if one of these is greater than 45 degree, the other has to be less than 45 degree. Similarly, had angle 1 been less than 45 degree, in that case angle 2 would have been more than 45 degrees. So I hope that with this diagram it is very much clear that why angle 2 will be less than 45 degree. Because angle 1 is more than 45 degree. So angle 1 has covered has taken some part from this 45 degree. So the remaining part is angle 2. Perfect. So let's look at question number 6. In the adjoining figure, is angle 1 adjacent to angle 2? So this is angle 1 and this is angle 2. Are they adjacent? So they seem to be located side by side. Let us look at the criteria. They have a common vertex, yes. They have a common arm, yes, this is their common arm OC, right? And they do not have common interior points, because for angle 1 interior region would be this, for angle 2 the interior region would be this. So they do not have any common interior points. Therefore, yes, angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. Is angle AOC adjacent to angle AOE? So AOC is again angle 1 and AOE is basically this total angle. So are these two adjacent? This angle 1 and this total angle? No, they are not. Why? Because they have a common vertex, that is true. They also have a common arm, that is this arm. That is also true. But they share common interior points, because this region is common to both angle AOE and angle AOC. So this region is common region. So they have common interior points. So we will say no, because they have common interior points. Do angle COE and angle EOD form a linear pair? So COE, that is angle 2, and EOD, that is this angle. So we have to tell whether angle 2 and this angle. So basically we are talking about these three rays. This is one ray, this is another ray, and this is another ray. So we are basically talking about only this part. If this angle and this angle they are linear pair or not? Well, yes, they form a linear pair. When you look at only the red lines closely, you see that angle 2 plus this angle, this total angle, is equal to 180 degree, definitely. Moreover, they are also adjacent angle. They have a common vertex, they have a common arm, they do not share common interior points. Therefore, yes, they form linear pair. Angle BOD and angle DOA supplementary. Angle BOD, that is angle 4, and angle DOA, that is angle 5. So here it is asking if angle 4 and angle 5 are supplementary or not. So if you look at angle 4 and angle 5, they together form this angle, which is a straight line AOB. Right? So that means they make 180 degrees. So angle 4 plus angle 5 is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, the answer would be yes, they are supplementary. Is angle 1 vertically opposite to angle 4? So this is angle 1 and this is angle 4. So let us look at the lines which are intersecting so that we can understand if angle 1 and angle 4 are formed by intersecting lines or not. So let us highlight the lines which make these angles. So one line would be DC. And what would be the other line? The other line would be AB. So now when you look at AB and DC, AB and CD are intersecting lines. So they intersect at this point. So angle 1 is this angle and angle 4 is this angle. So they are located opposite to each other. So opposite angles formed by two intersecting lines. So therefore, yes, angle 1 and angle 4 are vertically opposite angles. What is the vertically opposite angle of angle 5? So this is angle 5. So the same two lines, that is AB and CD, when they intersect, they form two set of vertically opposite angle. One is 1 and 4, the other one would be 5 and this total angle. So which would actually be angle 2 plus angle 3. So therefore the vertically opposite angle of angle 5 would be angle BOC. So which is actually angle 2 plus angle 3. So that would be the vertically opposite angle of angle 5. So you see, this is how you approach to answer questions related to different types of angles.